What's up, church family? We're going to have a couple of little devotions over the next few days that I think are really going to be helpful for us. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be considering some of the principles that Jesus lived by that I really believe if we apply to our own lives will help us overcome stress. Because stress and anxieties or fears or insecurities, they're so common, they're so prevalent, and I think they're things that every single one of us are going to have at different portions and intervals of our lives. And so I think it's really necessary that we look to Jesus, we see the principles that he lived by, and we adopt them ourselves so that we can overcome stress, man. That's what we want to do. Jesus, he was constantly under pressure, let's be honest. There were grueling demands on his time. He was constantly interrupted. The guy, he rarely had personal privacy. People repeatedly misunderstood him, they ridiculed him, they criticized him, they undermined him, they looked at the people that he was hanging out with, what he was doing, where he was going, what he was eating, and they constantly just pulled him down. He had enormous responsibility, but listen to me, he had peace under pressure. Isn't that an attractive attribute, having peace under pressure? So how did he do it? The first thing that he did, and I think we need to do, is we need to know who we are. In John chapter 8, we see Jesus disputing with the Pharisees about his ministerial intentions, about his purpose, and they're trying to tell Jesus who the Messiah is. They're trying to tell Jesus different things ultimately about who he is supposed to be if he is the Messiah. But Jesus has this unwavering self-confidence. They literally say to him in verse 25 of John 8, "Who are you?" And he turns around and he says, "I'm the one that I've always claimed to be." Jesus knew who he was. You see, this morning, if you don't know who you are, others will try to tell you who they think you are. If you don't know who you are, then you'll mistakenly let other people pressure you into believing that you're somebody you're not. And we all know people like that, and we've probably even been there before. A lot of people, they stress themselves out because they're too busy living behind masks. They're living these double lives. They're trying to be someone that they're not. You know, what insecurity does is it produces a great pressure on our lives. And when we feel pressured because we ultimately don't know who we are, we set all of these unrealistic expectations for ourselves. And then as we try to live our lives, we're doing it in such a way to perform or conform to what other people are telling us to be or do. It's not right. And it leads to great stress and great pressure. So what should we do? That's the question that we need to answer this morning. Firstly, we need to know who we are. And secondly, we need to know whose we are. So we need to know who we are and we need to know whose we are. Let me tell you this morning. You are an accepted, loved child of God. There's a divine plan and a divine purpose for your life. The first step in overcoming stress, like Jesus, is knowing who you are. Doesn't matter about all of the noise coming from outside, about all of the pressure and all the interruptions, or what other people are saying. When you know who you are, you'll have peace under pressure. Tomorrow, we're going to look at another principle that Jesus lived by that I think is going to be very helpful. Look forward to seeing you then. God bless you today.